Oh man, you guys are about to discover the top 10 IT jobs that will pay you the most in 2023.
Wow.
So make sure you watch the entire video as I'm going to be breaking down which jobs are hot. What I mean by hot is the fact that these jobs pay you a good amount of money. Not only that, they are in high demand. And many of these jobs I've actually done. Guys, I am Antoine Wade and I run the Black Heights channel. If you are new to this channel, and you like this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. If you like this sort of content, make sure that you hit the like button. Now let's get to the video. And guys, we are going to dive into this video right away, and I'm going to start in reverse order. What I mean by reverse order, not meaning that one job is better than the other, but I like to start with a countdown. So I'm gonna start with number 10 and I'm gonna work my way down to number 1. And at number 10, if you are ready to unlock the doors to a thriving career in the world of technology and in the rapidly world of IT, one role stands out as a surprising gem, and that is the help desk technician. I've done this role in early part of my life as I was breaking into tech. I had a help desk job when I was a senior in college. It was the role that allowed for me to become a software engineer right after I graduated college with a management information systems degree as well as a computer science minor. Now, let me explain what a help desk technician does. Well, a help desk technician is basically the frontline troubleshooter who aid users in resolving their technical issues. And you can think of a help desk technician as an IT equivalent of a friendly neighbor superhero swooping in to save the day when technology distress strikes. And here's an interesting fact. There are over 300,000 help desk computer technicians currently employed in the United States, with 27% of all help desk computer technicians being women. Not only that, 72% being men. And the average computer technician is about 42 years old. And the salaries for a help desk technician is okay, meaning that you can make about $50,000 a year, which is just short of the median income in the United States. And the skills needed to be a help desk technician is strong communication skills and troubleshooting skills, and a little bit of IT basics. So you can get IT basics with certifications like CompTIA A+, and that will give you a head start. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a help desk technician. Well, some of the pros is the fact that it's in high demand and you will have an opportunity to develop your soft skills because you're going to be talking to a lot of people and you're going to be able to, help people in different types of technology, whether that's in email, chat, and things like that. Some of the cons are that there's limited technical depth. I mean, like, you will pretty much, for the most part, you'll learn what is part of the software that you're going to be supporting, and that some of the tasks that you will be doing can be repetitive. Now let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is a role that I've actually had in my career as well. I spent 3 years in this role, and that is the role of a project manager. And it is a combination of, tech leadership as well as tech operations. And what I would say a project manager is responsible for is the planning and execution of a project. And they work with a team of people to ensure that the project meets its goals and its objectives. And you can think of these guys as a leader that's steering teams through stormy waters of project execution. And the role of a project manager will continue to see substantial growth. It is growing right now at about a 15% growth rate year over year. And that's because as technology continues to evolve, you're going to need project managers that will be able to help shape the technology landscapes of some of these companies. And project managers are paid very, very well, with an average salary of about $96,000 a year. And the skills needed to become a project manager are things like good communication skills and strong organizational skills, the ability to manage time and, lead people as well. And I would say certifications that are out there that will help you to become a better project manager is the PMP certification. There's also the CompTIA Project Plus certification. There's also the Google Coursera project management certification that will will equip you with the skills that you need to become a good project manager. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a project manager. Some of the pros, in my opinion, is the fact that you have high earning potential, you have strategic impact, and you will have a lot of tasks that you can do, which gives you a whole bunch of task diversity, as I like to say. Some of the cons is the fact that high pressure scenarios. I mean, you are constantly in high pressure scenarios because you are responsible for project execution. Not only that, you are also responsible for team dynamics, and that comes with dealing with people's personal problems as well. I spent about 3 years as a project manager, and it allowed for me to move up in the corporation that I was in at that point in time. I did about 2.5 years in a project manager role, and from there I was actually promoted to a senior project manager and then a director, responsible for an entire organization and managing the PMO process. And at number 8 is the role of a systems engineer. It's basically an architect, as I would say. They're responsible for designing and building and maintaining foundations of IT solutions. And just as skilled architects craft blueprints for a big building, systems engineers blueprint the technology landscapes that power businesses. And being a systems engineer, you can make a lot of money with a salary of about $102,000 per year. And the skills needed to become a good systems engineer is the fact that you need to have a good understanding of IT architecture and, a good amount of understanding into various platforms like cloud and Linux and Unix, and have the ability to troubleshoot very complex IT solutions. Now, what are some of the pros and cons of becoming a systems engineer? Well, some of the pros are the fact that it is a pioneering role and you will have a bunch of diverse opportunities within your career. Now, some of the cons, I would say, is the fact that you have to have a good amount of technical understanding of some of the solutions that you're going to be supporting and the ability to troubleshoot. Not only that, you have to respond to critical system outages and things like that. At number 7 is the role of an application support engineer. I've managed a lot of these guys before in my career, and this role is very, very important for a lot of companies because these guys are responsible for fine-tuning the software performance and ensuring that they are working flawlessly and giving people the correct user experience. Early in my career, when I was working as a software engineer, managing warehouse management projects and programming warehouse management software, we leveraged application support engineers to help us support the backend. So whenever we would go live and we would transition the project over to support, application support engineers were responsible for ensuring that the system was running the correct way. So at any point in time there was any sort of slowdowns in the system, the application support engineers would actually be looking in the back end to determine what it is that's causing some of these slowdowns. And the demand for application support engineers continue to grow yearly with a growth rate of about 6.3%, which is very, very impressive. Now let's talk about the money, because application support engineers can make around $99,000 a year on average. High salaries around $150,000 a year, depending on the actual application or the company that they work for. And to be an effective application support engineer, you need to have technical expertise. You also need to have the ability to problem solve and effective communication. Not only that, customers will call in on your application that you're supporting and have a wide range of problems. In the instance that I saw many times is the fact that customers could not close out the trailers and let the drivers leave the warehouse, right? Whenever there was an issue, they had to unload the truck and so forth, but if they couldn't close out the trailer, that means they're keeping the drivers at the warehouse for a lot longer than they need to actually be there, which also stops other drivers from coming in and backing up their trucks and you being able to unload the inventory. So you have to have a bit of empathy with what these guys are going through, because they're going to call in and they're going to be frustrated. So empathy is another skill that you need in order for you to be a good application support engineer. And to get started, you just need to have a good amount of technical proficiency. So maybe coding languages, C++, Python, and so forth, having the ability to understand coding, software testing, troubleshooting techniques. And you have to think about seeking roles in technical support. So many people who become application support engineers start off in help desk roles. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming an application support engineer. Well, some of the pros is the fact that you have the ability to directly impact software. Not only that, the quality of the software as well too. Not only that, troubleshooting satisfaction. When you are able to help somebody, it rewards you and it will allow for you to feel good about helping that person. Now, some of the cons, high pressure situations. Not only that, you have to deal with frustrated users of the applications that you're supporting. Now let's move on to number 6, which is a management information systems manager, MISM. And management information systems managers are responsible for technical organizations and guiding the teams in those technical organizations towards efficiency and innovation and smooth operations. So just like a seasoned captain on a yacht or a boat can guide a boat to calm waters whenever there's a storm, and management information systems manager will steer technical organizations or tech projects through some of the challenges to make them successful. And the demand for management information systems managers continue to grow with a growth rate of about 10.8% right now. And management information systems managers can make a whole bunch of money. I'm talking about $131,000 is the average salary, with a high of about $340,000 a year. And the skills needed to become a management information systems manager is that of a project manager, right? That's one of the areas where if you are a project manager, you can climb the ladder to become a management information systems manager, because those are the skills that you will need. Not only that, strategic thinking, the ability to communicate and lead teams effectively is very, very important as well. So if a management information systems manager is a career that you think you want to have, to get started, you need to have a project manager certification. I would say not only that, you have to have experience as a project manager. And I say this, a lot of the times probably want to have some experience becoming a application support engineer, a systems engineer, and things like that. I would also encourage you guys to get a upper level degree in something like management of technology or management information systems, and gain hands-on experience in tech leadership roles, which is why I'm encouraging guys to become a project manager as well. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of a management information systems manager. Some of the pros is the fact that you will have many leadership opportunities. The next step outside of becoming a management information systems manager may be a chief information systems officer or a chief technology officer. Not only that, the role is in high demand, and you would have strategic influence over the organization that you're responsible for. Some of the cons is the fact that it is a high pressure role, and you will be accountable for many things within your technical organization. When things are good, you'll get a lot of praise. When things are bad, you won't get a lot of praise. And that is part of being in a leadership role and being a manager of a technology organization. At number 5 is the role of a programmer analyst. And these guys are basically consultants, which are computer professionals who analyze and design software systems. So they work with clients to understand their needs and develop software to meet those needs. In addition, they also test and debug programs to ensure that the software solutions that they're responsible for are error-free. And this is another role that I've had in my career as well, and I love this role. You can think about it as a consultant, because you are speaking with the actual client, understanding what it is that they need. And this will help you get on a track potentially to a role of a sales professional or a sales engineer as well. And the demand for program analysts continue to grow with a growth rate of about 12.9%. And program analysts can make a lot of money. I'm talking about average salaries about $81,000 a year, and on the top end is around $152,000 a year. And the skills needed to become a good program analyst are effective communication skills. So both written communication as well as verbal communication as well, because you will be talking to clients quite often. Not only that, strategic thinking and analytical skills as well, using data to help you make decisions in the solutions that you're supporting and building. And to get started, you should definitely start your career off as a project manager or some sort of analyst of some sort, another consultant, data analyst, or so forth, right? And develop skills with project tracking and risk assessment and strategic planning in the organization that you're in. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a program analyst. Some of the pros is the fact that you have to steer major projects to success and influence the overall project, working with your project manager and so forth. And some of the cons is the fact that you will be navigating complex projects, and you will have to manage a lot of tasks, and depending on when your go live is, you'll be working long hours. And some weeks as a program analyst, I had to work 80+ hours a week, which is a lot. Coming in at number 4 is the role of a chief technology officer. And these guys are C-suite executives, senior leader executives who typically report into the CEO or other C-suite executives. And their role is to develop and implement technology solutions that help the organization achieve its goals. And like a conductor guiding a symphony, the CTO is very similar. They are responsible for leading the technology team and ensuring that the different technologies work together seamlessly. And the demand for CTOs continue to grow with a growth rate of about 8.4%. Early on in my career, I wanted to become a chief technology officer. It is a position that's held in high regard. Not only that, you still are on the technology side dealing with technical people. Now, I took a bit of a different path because now I'm on the commercial side, dealing with people who aren't as technical, but with a high upside from a monetary standpoint, being the fact that if you are on the commercial side responsible for sales and so forth, you get the chance to make a lot more money than chief technology officers. And here's the interesting fact: there are over 26,000 chief technology officers that are employed in the United States, and 8.4% of all chief technology officers are women, while 91% of those are men. And the average age of a chief technology officer is around 51 years old, so you know you have to have a lot of experience in your career to become a chief technology officer. And chief technology officers are absolutely crushing it when it comes to a salary standpoint, with an average salary of around $320,000. And on the far right side of that scale, they're making millions of dollars a year if they're working for big time Fortune 500, Fortune 5 corporations. Now let's talk about some of the skills that you need to become a chief technology officer. Well, you need to have technical prowess, right? Not only that, you have to have the ability to strategically think and be a visionary leader, because of the fact that you're dealing with technology that transforms an entire organization. And you also need to have the ability to foresee where technical solutions are continuing to develop, and not only that, where you foresee tech being needed in your organization. And to get started, you got to start early on in your career to develop very strong technical background of networking and cloud systems and computer architecture, and then start to develop your leadership skills through technical management roles that you will be in. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of being a CTO. Well, some of the pros is the fact that you get to pioneer technical revolutions inside the company that you're working for. Not only that, you will have strategic influence. Now, some of the cons is the fact that it is a big time responsibility being a CTO. You have to navigate complex challenges in an organization as well. So it is a big time responsibility. Coming in at number 3 is the role of a networks engineer. And a network engineer is a computer professional who basically designs and installs and maintains and troubleshoots computer network. And they work with a variety of technologies, including routers, switchers, firewalls, and servers. And you can think of these guys as engineers that's responsible for the virtual bridge that allow for data to flow between the applications inside of a organization. And the demand for network engineers continue to rise, with a solid 6.1% growth rate year over year. And the amount of money these guys can make is not too shabby, with an average salary of about $87,000 a year. Now let's talk about some of the skills you need to become a network engineer. Well, you need to have a good understanding of network protocols, hardware, troubleshooting, and the ability to ensure that the systems that you're supporting are uninterrupted. And to get started, you should build a foundation in networking technologies and pursue certifications like the CCNA, and lay a solid groundwork for your networking career. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a network engineer. Well, number 1, a pro that I like is the fact that you get to shape digital communication inside an organization. Not only that, you get to problem solve some really cool challenges that may exist out there. Some of the cons is the fact that the role very high pressure, because of the fact that you do have to troubleshoot when things go wrong. And not only that, whenever there's a connectivity issue, you are responsible for. At number 2 is the role of a cybersecurity engineer. You could think of cybersecurity engineers as guards of the digital world, safeguarding systems and data against the onslaught of cyber criminals and cyber attacks. So think about them as guardians of a castle, where cybersecurity engineers stand guard at the gate of that castle, protecting anything from happening to that castle at all. And cybersecurity engineers have a very strong growth rate at about 7.7% a year. And the average salary for a cybersecurity engineer is around $141,000 a year, which is a really good salary. And the skills needed to become a cybersecurity engineer is ethical hacking experience, knowledge of encryption protocols, and the ability to dissect cyber threats, and a strong understanding of network security. And to get started, you should start by building a solid foundation in networking and security concepts. Pursue certifications like a Security Plus or a CISSP, or you can actually get a good understanding of these skills that you need by going through boot camps. Level Careers is a partner of ours, and they will help you to break into the cybersecurity field as a cybersecurity engineer or a cybersecurity analyst at a low cost of about $500. And if you use the Black 100 discount code, it will be $450, and it's taught by Josh Modikar, who is a cybersecurity professional here on YouTube, and he's worked at large companies like Microsoft, and he's helping people to break into the cybersecurity field as well as in the cloud field as well too. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a cybersecurity engineer. Well, some of the pros is the fact that it is in high demand and has a very high salary. Some of the cons are the fact that it's constantly evolving and there are always going to be threats, and then you will be working in a high pressure environment. I hope you guys are ready for number one, because we are on number one right now, guys, and coming in at number one is the role of a DevOps engineer. And a DevOps engineer is a IT professional that works at the intersection of software development and IT operations. So these guys have to have a good understanding of the technical side as well as the business side as well, and they are basically responsible for automating the processes involved in software development and deployment, as well as ensuring that the software is reliable and scalable inside of an organization. And the demand for a DevOps engineer continues to grow, and it's one of the highest that I've seen actually in the IT world, and it's at about 14.1% year-over-year growth. So that means the demand is very high, which also means that the salary is high as well. And speaking of salary, these guys are paid on average $123,000 a year. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I have a friend who is a junior DevOps engineer, and he's making about $227,000 right now in his career. And the skills needed to become a DevOps engineer is proficiency in coding, networking skills, troubleshooting skills, understanding the software development lifecycle, and familiarity with automation tools, and the ability to bridge communication gaps between developers who may have really good communication skills but talking technical jargon, and then the business operations organization which have really good communication skills as well but don't necessarily want to understand the technical jargon. And to get started, you should immerse yourself in coding languages like Python and C++ and C# and Java and other scripting languages, and delve into tools like Jenkins, Kubernetes, and Docker, and have a good understanding of cloud platforms. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of becoming a DevOps engineer. Pros are the fact that you will be facilitating innovation inside the company that you're going to be working for, and not only that, the role is in high demand, demanding high salaries and so forth. Some of the cons is that there's a lot of high expectations for DevOps engineers, and you have to deal with complex individuals and complex software, and there's going to be a need for you to constantly learn. So there you have it, guys. These are the top 10 IT jobs that will pay you the most in 2023. I went through and looked up a whole bunch of IT jobs, and this is the list that I came up with. Guys, if you like this sort of content, make sure you hit the like button. I want to give you guys a good understanding of all the technical roles that exist out there to give you an opportunity to make a lot of money within your career and to have a really good career. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well too. If you're looking for coaching, career coaching, go ahead and book a session with us at the Black Heights website or on the Black Heights website, www.blkheights.com. We will help you to choose the right career path that is for you to help you make the money that you ultimately want to make within your career. Guys, I am Antoine Wade, and I run the Black Heights channel, and we will see you next time. Peace.